This is The Amazing Beauty of Creation. I'm Bilal Katrada.
And I'm Talha Katrada.
And this is the show that brings you up close with the universe around you. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our new episode of ABC, The Amazing Beauty of Creation. Okay, so people wanted to know, people asked us. So we spoke about planet Earth the last time. But a lot of people wanted to know what is the Earth actually made of? This mysterious rock that we live on. So today we decided to dive a little deeper into the heart of the planet and see exactly what is going on inside there. So Tala's got some amazing facts about the center of the Earth. So we're literally going to take a journey to the center of the Earth. Tala, tell us what goes on inside our planet.
Okay, so as we mentioned in the previous episode, if you were to take the Earth and slice it in half and look on the inside of it, you see it would be made out of layers. There are several layers comprised of different materials and different thicknesses.
Can we think of a boiled egg? Like you've got the yolk in the middle and then you've got the white outer and then you've got the shell.
That's exactly what the Earth is like, except it's more ball-shaped and not egg-shaped. Okay, now at the center of the Earth, you have the core, which will be like the yolk in terms of the egg. Now the core there's two parts of it. Right? You got the solid inner core, which is just a solid ball made out of mostly iron. And this side, the length of this iron ball from one side to the other is 2,440 kilometers. So it's a very big iron ball at the center of the Earth.
Now here's something really interesting about iron, right? The iron that's on the Earth. Allah Ta'ala names an entire surah after iron, and he makes a statement that probably was a bit of a mystery back in those days, where he says وَأَنزَلْنَا الْحَدِيدَ فِيهِ بَأْسٌ شَدِيدٌ, that we sent down iron, and in iron there is a lot of strength. So what does this mean? I mean, probably people in those days didn't understand what it means that iron was sent down. Probably they saw, one or two meteorites of iron, and that's what they understood from it. But what it really means is that all the iron that you find on the Earth, even the iron at the core, was not manufactured, was not created on Earth. Iron is actually forged in the heart of a star. And when that star goes supernova, when it explodes, then that iron gets flung out to all parts of the universe. And some of that iron coalesced into the core of our planet. So this is what Allah Ta'ala is referring to in the Quran, that we sent down iron. The iron came down from space. All the iron that you find on Earth is actually from space. But please do continue.
Okay, and then the second part of the core, so we got the solid inner core. Now it's solid because scientists assume because of the pressure. It's so because you got all the layers of Earth pressing down on it, so that section became solid. But outside of that, where the pressure is a little less, you got the liquid outer core. Now it's liquid, but it's not like water. It's actually made out of melted nickel and iron. And this section is about 2,180 kilometers thick. Okay. One step beyond that, now if you're in terms of the egg, now we're looking at the white section. This section is called the mantle. The mantle is 2,890 kilometers thick. And the mantle is made out of rocks rich in magnesium and iron. Now again, because of the heat, all the rocks here are melted, and they're almost like to the consistency of melted caramel.
So that's the volcanic lava that we see when there's an eruption. Is that it?
Exactly. What happens is when there's an eruption, some of the material in the mantle breaks the crust and emerges on the surface. Now, the rocks in the mantle are melted and they are constantly moving, because of the way heat works, towards the bottom of the mantle where it's even hotter than towards the top level of the mantle, the rocks get heated up and they begin to rise. And then once they reach the surface, which is closer to the crust, it'll cool down and sink again. And this constantly creates movement and currents in the mantle. And those currents affect the crust. And let's talk about the crust. The crust is this very thin layer around the Earth, the eggshell of the Earth that we live on. It's this hard, rocky layer. And compared to the other layers of Earth, it's extremely thin. It ranges from 75 to only 5 kilometers thick in some places. So it's a very thin layer compared to everything else that we live on. Now, the crust is made out of rocks containing silicon, aluminium, iron, calcium, and all the other elements that we came across. Now, the crust is not just one piece of rock that wraps around the entire Earth. The crust is made out of several pieces, like a jigsaw puzzle, that are stuck together. And those pieces are the tectonic plates. Now, these tectonic plates that make up the surface of the Earth are constantly moving as well because of the movement in the mantle. The crust is just floating on top of the mantle.
Now what's very interesting here is that in a couple of places in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala refers to the mountains as pegs, wal jibala awtada, and the mountains serve as pegs. So in another place, Allah Ta'ala mentions that when He created the earth and there was too much of movement, everything was just moving, and then He put in the mountains as pegs to hold the bodies of earth together. So this is those tectonic plates. So they kept on moving, and then Allah Ta'ala sort of anchored them with the mountains. Isn't that interesting? Isn't the Quran a real gold mine of scientific knowledge, isn't it?
Now, when you look at the speed in which these tectonic plates usually move, they move at around the same speed that your fingernails grow. Extremely, extremely slowly. And like as you said, they could have been a lot faster in the past because of they're just floating around all crazy. Like, it would have made life really difficult. And what happens is when these tectonic plates, when they rub against each other as they move, sometimes they scrape a little too hard, and this is what causes earthquakes. So again, if those tectonic plates were not anchored down and moved over a lot, you'd be experiencing a lot of earthquakes everywhere in the world. Now, these tectonic plates, right, when they move away from each other, they sometimes can form canyons. And when they run towards each other, when they crash into one another, they push up the earth, and those create mountains. And in fact, the Himalayas, which contains Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, was created this way, when two tectonic plates crashed into one another, and they pushed up this entire mountain range.
So everything just started folding upwards. That's amazing. And then you've got this mountain range. But what if the Indian subcontinent had to start moving away from the rest of Asia? Will that cause the Himalayas to sort of collapse?
To some way, but I think towards the edges of the tectonic plates, you'd still get these mountain ranges, and then in the center of them, where the tectonic plates split, you'll get this huge canyon.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. What else have you got for us?
I think that's it.
Okay, so that's amazing. I mean, if you look at the Earth in its by its very composition, I think when you look at the magnetic core of the Earth, the molten iron core, that's where the Earth's magnetic field actually comes from also, and that helps us find directions. I mean, if without the Earth magnetic field, our GPS systems just wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to use compasses. So we understand from all of this that the Earth has been deliberately created to support life. See, that's the vision. That's the very reason that the Earth exists. Earth is it's a little incubator to support life, to support us, and we've been placed on this Earth to live our lives out, and we've been given all the amenities that we need, everything that we need in this one little self-contained little, what do you call it, like a little aquarium that we're living in. And this is the one home that we got, so we need to look after it. We really need to, if you think about it, this is the only home we have in the entire universe, and we really need to look after it. We need to ensure that we don't pollute, we don't cause any harm to the Earth, because this is our home. That's it for today's episode. We hope that you learned something new today, and we hope to catch up with you in the next episode, inshallah.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on Twitter @ABofCreation to give us feedback on our podcast, and let us know if there's anything specific you'd like us to discuss in a future episode.